And I find myself like, I have a basement gym with my TV and everything. And so often it'll be like, what do I want to watch and listen to while I'm working out? King of the Hill again.
Like, or Opie and Anthony.
Or Opie and Anthony. I listen to it. If you took the amount of hours I spend listening to old Opie and Anthony clips throughout a week, it would be a full-time job. Like, just always my background sound when I'm cleaning the kitchen, when I'm doing whatever, it's all old Opie and Anthony bits. I've been going through the Lady Di saga again. That's hilarious.
Opie add much to the show because I know you're a big Anthony fan.
Yeah, huge Anthony and Jim Norton fan. Opie never sucked me in as part of the show. He would, if anything, he often ruined bits because like they like Jim and Anthony would be like riff, like going somewhere with like Bobo or Lady Di, like the whack pack of their, I don't know what their branding was, but whatever the whack pack was for them. And so often Opie would step in and be like, oh, we got to take a caller. It's Steve from Munaki or something. It's like, God damn it, dude. Like, you just stepped on it right in the middle of the funny stuff. There was no reason for you to do that. And so you can definitely hear in old O&A clips. There are clips called Nopey clips on YouTube. And so you can search Nopey, and someone took the time to go through entire O&A episodes and edit out every single thing that Opie
must hurt.
And it is, I guarantee he's not hurt. He's a multi-millionaire living in an awesome place.
You not
Opie?
hurt.
No, he's very hurt. His new show, like his voicemail, even has him. He's like telling people if they're going to leave a message, like don't be negative. He seems extremely sensitive.
He might be, because there were also clips like throughout because you can watch like a entire saga of the O&A show falling apart over years, and it's like 8 hours long, and the photo of it is Anthony, Opie, and Jim photoshopped into the Downfall poster, which is the poster of the Hitler movie, where it's like Anthony standing there as Hitler, like in the Downfall, and they're all doing that. And you can see it totally fall apart, but it all seemed, at least from a listener, from someone, you know how it is being a listener to a show. You don't actually know the inner workings. You don't know shit. Like, you can assume a lot of things, but just watching that, it was like Opie clearly became jealous of Jim and Anthony driving the direction, and he would always try and re-seize the control, because at the end of the day, he was like the in-charge guy. But yeah, Opie is not liked. I didn't know that, what you said, Dick. I didn't know he was like still sensitive about it. I assumed he just kind of cashed out and was like, I'm worth like $15 million. I'm good to go.
But that doesn't work at all. Like I see that a lot. Like, the internet will give some NBA player a hard time who missed the game-winning free throw. And a handful of people are like, what? He's rich. It doesn't bother him. No, it absolutely bothers him. This is his entire identity. He's been working on this since he was a little kid. His sense of self-worth is wrapped up in being able to do shit like this, and he didn't do it. That probably describes Opie too.
You just hit you hit the nail on the head right there, Woody, because there were definitely times in the clips where Anthony, Jim, and Opie were arguing, where Opie would just right out and out say like, oh, you guys leave? I'll still run a hit show. I'll run a hit show. I've done it before. I found both of you guys. I can find more people. And that was his kind of angle, because Opie, in honesty, he's the one who brought Anthony on board. Anthony was a tin knocker, like working in attics.
What
and
does
he's
that
like,
mean?
Anthony's meaning like he was installing AC units and heating units. And that's all he did. And Opie genuinely did find the talent, which was Anthony. But it kind of consumed him to the point where he's like, oh, that talent, like the people who have grown to love Anthony and Jim bantering, I can do that again. I can do that again in a different direction. And that was kind of the last time that I saw him. Like,
yeah, it's hard to catch lightning, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, Anthony is one of the that I haven't listened to enough Stern. Like, Kyle will probably disagree with me on this, but O&A, classic O&A, is the funniest fucking shit out there. It's great because they didn't have structure. They didn't have planned bits. They did, but not as much as like just bring in a bunch of Jim Norton's hilarious comedian friends and just have them riff and make fun of each other. When Colin Quinn calls Bobby Kelly a fat comedian, when he says, you look like a last minute gift at the Beijing airport. when he says that, that makes me laugh so hard. Like it's just the ruthless insults when he calls Anthony a back alley Tunisian knife fighter, or Corsican pimp, or whatever the other ones were.
Corsican pimp.
Yeah, Corsican
yeah,
pimp.
it's really funny. I think I have a hard time choosing between the best of Stern and the best of O&A. Some of those Stern bits are so fucking good. Like some of that Stuttering John stuff. Some of those like contests they had.
Any of that make you laugh as hard as when they brought in Lady Di, a hardcore alcoholic homeless woman, to be an intern for a week, and she clogged up the sink with vomit and shit.
It was, but Lady Di made me laugh.
Building.
But I had the video of that, right? Like I didn't have video for the Stern stuff. Like maybe if I'd had video for the Stern stuff, it would have been as funny. But like some of that shit, man, when they went to NAMBLA, to the North American Man Boy Love Association's like big meeting, and like Stuttering John is like questioning these guys and like finding information out about them, and like the guys are being like super open about what they're into, and like they go back and forth between playing those clips and like Howard like making fun of it. That's really funny. But then they'll just have like literally retarded people come into the studio, and like they had Beetlejuice, which is a what was that? Remember the Zika virus that we were all afraid of? Like,
yeah, he got it.
He doesn't have it, but he has what it causes, which is that tiny head syndrome. His like head is like
or something.
Yeah, that's it. Of course, you know what tiny head. You're hoping you could get it. Maybe
if we could just average me and him.
Yeah. He's got this pointy head that's about 1/3 normal human size. And while they say brain size doesn't correspond to intelligence, in his case,
Taylor says it does.
Nobody fucking retarded.
Taylor's dying on that hill. Obviously, brain size correlates with intelligence. You look at the big animals that have big brains; they're the smartest ones. Bird brains, not smart.
Literally does. Literally does.
Beetlejuice
brain size in comparison to body weight.
Beetlejuice is a black midget with a cone head the size of a cantaloupe and these awful rotted teeth, and he thinks he's a badass and a pimp. And so they bring him in, and I want to say they were sponsored by like Manscaped, like one of those companies that makes like razors to trim like your junk. And so, well, I got a good idea for a sponsor segment. Hey, Beetlejuice, this porn star is going to shave your balls. Yeah, just strip down a little bit, little man. Yeah, get naked right there. Oh, yeah, we're recording for the E! Show. No big deal, right? No, let's do it. And he's just naked there. It's on YouTube uncensored somewhere. This tiny-headed, retarded black midget, completely naked, getting shaved by a porn star while a multi-millionaire watches and laughs with all of his friends.
That stuff was good. It's not my favorite part of Stern. One, I thought his celebrity interviews were really good. He got celebrities like relaxed and answering questions that no one else could. He had a gift for that. And also, I don't know if I love this so much, but he built a community. He'd go into a new city and he'd want to be number one in that city. He'd talk about how he wanted to be number one in that city and how people needed to vote for him and fill out Nielsen cards and just like stack the deck so that he would be rated number one in that city. And a lot of people would be like, yeah, clearly we have to get Howard to be number one in Nashville. Somehow it's our mission to make him number one. And, you know, I'm like driving somewhere in New Jersey thinking, man, I hope he hits number one in Nashville. This apparently is important. I don't know why that's important to me.
They did have a community. Do you know who won People Magazine's Best Looking Man of the Year for 1999?
It's Howard.
Well, second place was Leonardo DiCaprio. First place went to Hank, the Angry Dwarf.
See? And that's perfect. That's what you want. Why can't we ruin those competitions anymore?
We used to do this show live, and we'd routinely take down websites that you wouldn't think we could take down. Like if you go back 8 years ago, a place like Wendy's wouldn't have a lot of like DDoS protection and stuff. And we'd be like, everyone hit F5, hit F5. And we just take down Maglite, Wendy's, like McDonald's, shit like that.
Whatever we could think of, just for the solar.
I mean,
The
you can't
lols.
take down Amazon. Like they're built for that. But
Would it be like, take down my YouTube homepage? Yeah. Keep hitting F5. It's auto-playing, huh? All right, just keep it up. You'll get it.
Watch that ad before you click off to make
was
sure the view is counted.
The humiliation parts of Stern that I loved. So like Baba Booey's video that he sent to his ex. Hi, hello, or hello. Like that, just paying him 20 grand to endure that sort of humiliation was beautiful.
If I
So
remember
beautiful.
correctly, it's a little fuzzy because it's been so long, but he had like made a video of him apologizing to his girlfriend and like mailed it to her or something like that.
And it was like the weaseliest scumbag, like non-apology. They were critiquing it.
I know
People
that you
could pay
think that I was in the wrong, but you know, I was in a rough place and I think you'll come to understand that. And it's just like this long non-apology literal video because it's on a cassette tape that he mailed through the mail to her home.
Flirting with your Jesse Ventura impression there.
And she must have like sent it to Howard.
He had a copy. He had a copy. He found it.
And he brought it in. Oh.
Yeah, he brought it in. And then they paid him like 30 grand to do a screening of it for everybody on the show and, you know, favorites.
Jackie the Joke Man used to get paid in advertising. Like he didn't have a really high salary, but they advertise his CDs all the time, his comedy CDs.
I recently saw a thing where it's Jackie, it's Stuttering John, and somebody else doing like a round table talking about their time on the Stern Show, and they were talking about how shitty the pay was from the E channel specifically. And it may have been Jackie, I don't remember which one it was, but they were talking to somebody and they were like, "Yeah, what's that gig pay? That's crazy. Everybody watches it." And he's like, "They offered me 10, but I'm not going to fucking take it. I'm not going to fucking take it. That's bullshit." And they're like, "You can't be doing so well that $10,000 a week isn't worth your time." And he's like, "No, it's 10 a year. It's 10 a year that they're offering me."
It's hard to find what right is. 10 a year feels really wrong. But Howard's getting rich, right? Howard's getting rich. He's the king of all media. He's got the book. He's got the movie. He's got the radio show. He has a TV show. He's making it all happen. But what is the gap between Howard's pay and Jackie's pay supposed to be?
Well, like what happened was like, because he hadn't signed his e-contract, because he wanted like his lawyer to look at it first, and there was some slight delay. Every time he came into the studio, the E channel had to turn off their cameras because he hadn't signed his contract. So it became this big controversy, and like Howard calls into his office and he has to like apologize and be like, "I'm so sorry that I did this. I'm so sorry. I wanted my lawyer to look at my contract before I signed it, sir. I know that you're trying to make an extra $8 million this year and get yourself over to the top. I know you want to make $125 million this year and not just 117 or whatever the fuck." Yeah, Howard's was such a scummy piece of shit. It's just the worst. He should have like look, if the main guy, the guy who's the titular star of the show, is going to end up being a billionaire off of it, then the guys who we can name right offhand, like Jackie and Benji and the people who were there making, especially, well, Fred got paid. Fred and Robin got paid, but nobody else did. Everybody else was getting paid just peanuts to be
all the
there.
rest of it went into Howard's greedy pockets.
I think Artie had a good deal. Artie was making, I think, $1 million a year.
That's
sleeping on the couch.
a horrible deal for the amount of reach they had. That's terrible.
Well, he was just sitting there high on heroin eating McMuffins for 4 hours.
It doesn't matter what he was actually doing if he was contributing to the show and being the funny man. Like,
that's communist. It's on Howard's back. It's all on his back.
It's way more.
He's got to replace people. Yeah,
I didn't watch the
Artie. Get bored.
I didn't watch the Artie era, so I won't weigh in. But I did watch like Fred and Jackie, and I always thought Jackie was way better than Fred. Like he added way more to the show to me than Fred did. Fred added the soundboard, which I kind of hated.
I love it.
Yeah,
I think I'm in the minority.
I don't like when Jackie opens his mouth. Where Jackie
think
where Jackie like puts his best work in is when he whispers to Howard, check the, I don't know what they call it. It's a defunct fucking internal DMing system that they
Skype.
use to like.
They're typing to each
It
other.
wasn't even that. It was some sort
Yeah,
of radio jargon thing. He'd like type Howard a
ham
line.
radioing across the office.
He'd type Howard a line, like a one-liner for to like make fun of somebody on the phone or just some fucking great. And Howard would deliver it well, and it would get a huge laugh, and it'd be this massive moment. And Jackie's just sitting over there like, that's me. That's me. He should have gotten paid for that shit.
And
that
you think
great.
that what's his name?
Fred.
The guy with the fucked up nose.
Artie.
Wasn't also doing that? Artie? He wasn't
I
also
know that Artie was doing that, but
yeah.
Artie probably deserves less because he's doing heroin and asleep half the time.
I'm just saying, if he's passing jokes to the host and keeping it funny, that's significant.
He was passing jokes when he was conscious. Like, I just think he takes a bit of a pay decrease because of the fact that he was literally.
Were his jokes funnier than what Howard was coming up with off the cuff?
Who could say?
Yeah,
Because you don't know which
out.
jokes are his and which are Howard's, because he's not going, all right, everybody, hey, I'm sending Howard a joke. Check it out. He's like privately DMing Howard jokes like throughout the show.
What's your
every day.
guess, Kyle?
Oh, I don't
like
think
how
Howard,
many of those funny one-liners
all
were
of them.
actually someone else?
my guess would be all of them, because I don't think Howard's is that organically funny. I think
And why is it worth $1 billion?
because that's what he would take.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And I mean, and if they paid him $2 million, he would have killed himself. like
That's I didn't think along those lines.
You give that guy $2 million, and he's fucking dead. It's not just his nose rotted off his face; it's the whole face.
He got punched, right?
That's a big part of it was the punching, but also the years and years of snorting cocaine and heroin couldn't have helped.
Forgive me.
Oh, is
Do
he
you
a
snort
cocaine
heroin?
guy?
You can.
Oh.
Yeah, you can snort heroin.
What's the one where you
snort anything?
It's also heroin that you inject.
No, okay, but what's the one where you like put it in a spoon and turn it into an inhalable?
That's heroin.
Oh,
Or wait.
Well,
No, you're talking about
freebasing
freebasing
methamphetamine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
Where you heat
Crack.
that up and then you use a glass straw to suck the fumes in.
yeah, and maybe crack. It has like it almost looks like a bowl, a crack pipe. Like it has a
Yeah, it's got a little round bowl on the end. And you're correct. That's how mine all are.
No, that's how mine is too. I smoke a lot of crack. That's why I'm so healthy and slim.
Yeah, yeah, it keeps me focused.
wait, crack.
Dude,
does make
I
you
smoke my
slim,
crack
doesn't
and
it?
then I eat 3,000 calories of salted meats.
We lost Dick's second account. That's what just
Are
happened.
you putting it back?
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
No worries.
What's that?
Changing.
Easy.
Are you
got
putting it back, or should I fix the layout?
No. You could. Oh, did it mess up the thing?
Yeah,
My computer was making noise.
I can fix it.
My
Whatever you
computer was
fixed it.
making noise.
My computer was making noise, so I shut it down.
I think the big difference here is now Dick can't see us.
That's okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I just $1 million seems like a lot of money for like what he was doing. He just seemed like he was doing so little. Like I'm not saying $1 million for his position is a lot. I'm saying $1 million for his performance.
right.
a lot,
Like if you were to
'cause-
tell me it was I'm sorry to cut you off, a non-drug dealer, like addict. I mean to say, like I don't know if Colin Quinn was crushing it in that job. He's kind of like a reliable guy who comes to work. You can count on him, I presume. Like if he's killing it in that job, I have an easier time paying him than Artie, who I have to imagine they're wondering where he is, why he's not on time, shit like that.
That was the
That's true,
entertainment, though. Like all of Artie's drug abuse was more engaging to me than his comedy. Like I wouldn't watch Colin Quinn tell jokes, but I'm into like, oh man, how did Artie fuck up this week? Like, is he sober again? Did he
And
ruin
he'd
his
always get a
life or his
pass.
relationship?
He
Yeah.
always get a pass too. Like if anything,
funny.
he would be the one who was hardest on himself. He'd tell the embarrassing story about himself and they'd laugh at it. But if like, I'm trying to think who was always late, who was just getting it into, was it Benji? It was Benji. Benji got just shit on just every fucking day. They'd shit on Benji. And I don't know. I like that. I like the parts of the show where they would make fun of the staff. I really liked what was that? Eric the actor, or AKA Eric the midget.
God, he was
being on the
great.
show. He's probably my favorite whack packer. He literally tried to have a hit put on a guy one time. It was hilarious, and like they would have this guy who was like
It's
an
illegal.
Yeah, I know it is.
Oh yeah.
They would have this guy come on and like do stuff with the Stern Show who had been in the mob. I can't remember who it was, but he was like
it
an
the
ex.
Man?
No, this was he was like an ex mobster, and so so what's the fucking midget's name? Eric.
Lil Joe.
calls that guy. Eric calls that guy and leaves him this voicemail. And he's like,
Hey, that guy, you know the one. He needs to go. You know what to do. You know what to do.
like leaves him this long voicemail where he's literally ordering up a hit. Well, that guy, of course, just brings that voicemail to Howard, and he's like, "Hey, you're not gonna believe this." I think Eric just, "Hey, boo boo." He's like, Eric just tried to order a hit. He just tried to have me off a guy, and so they start playing it on the air over and over and over, making fun of Eric. It's great. It's fucking hilarious.
Well, maybe I'll listen to that. I won't though. I'm gonna keep listening to old O&A.
Oh, dude, I've probably listened to like the Eric the actor, Eric the midget clips. I think there's got to be 60 hours worth on YouTube.
So
I've
many.
listened to them. I've listened to those things probably 5 or 6 times.
The
Have you listened to
earliest
old
stuff,
O&A,
Stuttering John
Dick?
was great. Like people didn't know Stuttering John. He was new. And they're just like, how did you get this job with a speech impediment? 'Cause and he's just out there doing his best to be actors, like trying to be respectful while he's asking disrespectful questions with a speech impediment. It was a good gig.
Yeah. Eric was my favorite. He died. Like I remember, like he died on the show. They were like, "Yeah, Eric's going to surgery," and then like you hear like the next week, Eric's dead. It's like, fuck, little fella couldn't make it anymore. Like they would pick on him so mercilessly. Though he was a fan of some girl on American Idol, which was super hot at the time, like DeGarmo or something like that, and so they were like, if we can get you to meet her, will you let us make a real doll out of you? Which is like one of those like hyper realistic sex dolls. And he's like,
I guess we could do that. Yeah. If I could meet her.
and like, so there he is in this was on the E Show, or at least on video. I saw it because his little retarded eyes are so happy when this like beautiful pop star walks in. She's like, "Hey, Eric, it's nice to meet you." And he's like,
It's so nice to meet you too.
and he's got these little club feet up under his body because he's in a wheelchair. He's not only a midget.
I'm watching a video right now. He has the most horrible little feet I've ever seen in my life.
Well, they bring up his feet at one point, and Howard's like, "What's wrong with your feet, Eric? Like, where do they even go? Are you do you have feet in those shoes?" And they just hammer on it, and he's avoiding. And finally, he's like,
I got a fucking club foot, you piece of shit.
like finally snaps. And then like he was gonna have like his own like private comedy show, and people were supposed to and like he's advertising it on the air live. He's like, "Yeah, you just go to this, you call this number or go to this website, and you reserve your seats at Eric's comedy show." And Fred kept playing that clip of how many people had called and reserved. 0.0. He just, every time Eric tries to defend himself in the comedy show, he plays that's the soundboard. 0.0. And finally Eric's like,
You got that, damn it, Fred. Would you? I'm gonna fucking fly over there and shove that piece of shit right up your ass.
and Fred, just without missing a beat, he's like, "I'll be waiting at the airport." 0.0. just having a meltdown. It's great.
I mean, I love meltdown stuff like that.